Before we begin, if you value deep historical knowledge and practical wisdom pulled straight from the past, make sure you subscribe to History Vault right now. What you're about to hear isn't another recycled story about fireplaces and brute force heating. This is the real reason Viking homes stayed livable through brutal winters that would cripple many modern houses. Long before central heating, electricity, or modern insulation, Norse families lived in regions where winter temperatures were unforgiving and fuel was scarce. Yet they survived comfortably, not by burning more wood, but by mastering how heat moved, stayed, and worked with the structure itself. Viking warmth was engineered into the house, not added afterward. The first truth modern builders often miss is that Vikings did not rely on heat sources alone. They built warmth directly into the architecture. The longhouse, the dominant Viking dwelling, was designed to trap, store, and slowly release heat over time. Thick turf walls formed the backbone of these homes, sometimes exceeding a meter in thickness. Turf was not chosen out of convenience, but because it functioned as a powerful natural insulator. Packed with soil, roots, and organic matter, it slowed heat loss while blocking wind completely. Earth itself was used as a thermal battery. Viking builders understood thermal mass centuries before the term existed. Many longhouses were partially sunken into the ground, using the earth as a stabilizing temperature buffer. Below the frost line, soil remains relatively warm year-round. By lowering floors and anchoring walls into the ground, Vikings reduced exposure to freezing winds while harvesting the earth's natural warmth. Archaeological remains across Iceland and Greenland show consistent use of this technique. Today, this principle can be applied by building earth-bermed homes, insulating foundations heavily, or even lowering living spaces slightly to reduce temperature swings. While Vikings did use open hearths, they were, carefully positioned. Fires were typically located along the center line of the home, allowing heat to radiate evenly outward. Smoke was allowed to rise and slowly escape through roof vents rather than being forced out through tall chimneys. This mattered because smoke lingering near the ceiling reduced heat loss by slowing airflow and, honestly, adding another insulating layer. Soot-coated rafters, still visible in surviving structures, further absorbed and radiated heat. For modern application, this concept translates into slow-moving ventilation systems, thermal ceilings, and minimizing vertical heat escape rather than relying solely on chimneys or exhaust fans. Viking homes were not open, airy spaces like many modern houses. Beds were placed along the walls where heat accumulated, often raised slightly to avoid cold ground air. Sleeping alcoves were, narrow, enclosed, and sometimes curtained with heavy textiles or animal skins. These created microclimates where body heat was trapped efficiently. This same principle applies today through insulated sleeping areas, heavy curtains, and reducing unnecessary open-plan designs in cold climates. Smaller, controlled spaces require far less energy to remain warm. Materials inside the home amplified warmth naturally. Wool, animal hides, and wooden surfaces were not decorative choices. Wool retains heat even when damp, making it ideal for harsh northern environments. Wooden floors and furniture stayed warmer underfoot than stone and helped regulate humidity. Even benches and storage chests doubled as thermal barriers, blocking drafts along walls. Modern homes often strip interiors down to hard, cold materials that, just bleed heat away. Reintroducing natural fibers, wooden surfaces, and layered textiles can dramatically improve thermal comfort, all without increasing fuel consumption. Daily habits were, synchronized with heat retention. Vikings adjusted daily routines to preserve warmth. Cooking, tool repair, and social gatherings all happened during daylight hours, when fires were already burning. Once the hearth cooled, families relied on stored heat rather than reigniting fires repeatedly. Hot stones were sometimes placed beneath benches or near sleeping areas to release warmth slowly overnight. This behavior reduced fuel use while maximizing comfort. Today, similar habits include timing heating cycles using thermal storage like masonry heaters and minimizing temperature fluctuations rather than, chasing constant heat. So, why does this knowledge still matter today? Well, understanding how the Vikings approached their environment can offer us valuable insights, even now. Modern heating systems often focus on generating more and more heat, but not so much on actually preserving it. Viking homes really succeeded because they treated heat as a precious resource. Their designs minimized loss, stored warmth in walls and soil, and honestly, worked with human behavior rather than against it. So, anyone building off-grid, living in cold climates, or just seeking energy independence can apply these principles immediately. Insulate deeply designed for airflow control, use thermal mass, reduce exposed surfaces, and prioritize smaller, heat-efficient living zones. These are not outdated ideas. They're actually proven solutions, refined by necessity. The Viking secret was never about fire alone. Wood stoves were only one part of a larger system. True warmth came from intelligent design, material choice, and disciplined living patterns. Viking homes didn't fight winter, they adapted to it. That mindset allowed entire communities to survive in landscapes where survival itself was uncertain. By learning from these methods, we reclaim knowledge that modern convenience has made us forget, but climate realities are forcing us to remember. If you found value in this deep dive into Viking domestic engineering, subscribe to History Vault and share this episode with anyone interested in ancient technology, survival wisdom, or historical architecture. The past still holds solutions for the future, and together we'll keep uncovering them, one forgotten method at a time.